I released my first Chameleon Academy YouTube video 7 years ago. And over those 7 years, you've met a number of incredible chameleons like Blue who have helped me share chameleon husbandry. Well, you may be wondering, where are they now? What's happened to all those chameleons and what kind of life they're living now? And for that, I think I'm going to show you. Blue, you ready to give a tour? Or are you just going to keep on trucking? Let's start with Clancy. Clancy is a veiled chameleon that hatched out here in 2020. And the minute he hatched, he was part of the videos and sharing all about chameleon husbandry. One of his notable accomplishments was being part of a class that I made about how to transition from the chameleon kit to a regular size cage setup. And that was a private class put together and presented for admins and moderators that are working with people. Now, Clancy has had an attitude since hatching and he has not settled down. I can always count on a big gape and hiss from Clancy. Clancy currently lives his life outdoors in Southern California and looks to be giving me attitude for many years to come. Thank you, Clancy. Tell everybody what you think about me. That's exactly right. There you go. There you go. Let everybody see how much you love me. Although Clancy isn't the only veiled chameleon around here, this is Clancy's father. Clancy's father came to me in 2018 as a little tyke and was actually featured on that first video that we released 7 years ago. And you saw him as a baby. He actually has a deeper connection to the chameleon community because he was part of an experiment that I did so long ago to determine that UV index of 3 was appropriate for veiled chameleons and that we didn't have to go to UV index of 6. He was part of the experiment that was instrumental in establishing UV index of 3 as a standard in our care guides. Once he left his scientific career, he went on to father a clutch of babies, and that is where Clancy came from. He currently enjoys the Southern California outdoor sun, and although he will give me a gape when I come near, he isn't as attitude rich as his son Clancy is, especially if you bring him good things to eat. He is in great health and he's living a good life. Well, in that first video that I did so long ago, that is actually where you first met Blue. Blue is a yellow-lipped Parsons chameleon, a male, and he came to me back in 2017, and he's been a fixture in my life ever since. He has been a wonderful chameleon, will eat from my hand, and he's just a magnificent chameleon. Now, many people say that Parsons chameleons are the king of chameleons and that they're special. I gotta say they're right. There's just something about a Parsons chameleon that is different from the other chameleon experiences, and the thing is, you just have to be with one to understand it. Well, Blue has been an incredible companion these last many years, and he is a healthy one. I expect him to be with me for many years to come. One thing that's sad for me is that one of the chameleons in the early video, Bolt, who is an Umbanja panther chameleon, he was in the which chameleon should I get video. Well, he was fighting off an infection when that video was happening, and he succumbed to that infection, which was very sad for me. But he did leave a gravid female. And from that gravid female, I have Starry Sky. Starry Sky has been with me since 2019, so that makes her 6 years old, which is an example of how long female panther chameleons can live if they don't breed. It's often said that they live about 3 years, but that's if they continually breed and continually produce eggs. That's very hard on a female's body. Well, Starry Sky here has never mated, has not been hanging out with the males, and has never produced an infertile clutch. She continues to be feisty and, as you can see here, antisocial. But you know what? We love our chameleons no matter what. I look forward to many years with Starry Sky, and I'll continue to say how incredible female panther chameleons are as pets. Don't overlook the opportunity to have one. Not that they have a whole lot of affection for you, but she's a chameleon. Now, another sadness was my female carpet chameleon, Daisy. You met up with Daisy in early 2024. Now, Daisy was just a nickname. She was actually Days-Nied, and that was an acronym for Do As I Say, Not As I Do, because right about at that time, I was telling everybody to cut back on their collection and reduce the number of chameleons you're keeping. And then I walked into my local reptile store and I saw this absolutely beautiful carpet chameleon, which I decided to buy, and then I had to come clean to everybody and saying, yeah, I've been telling you to reduce your collection. I want to reduce my collection, yet here's a real cool carpet chameleon. So that's how she got her name, and we shortened it to Daisy. Now, Daisy was wild caught and so had to go through quarantine, especially since I had the idea of showing how to make a community tank. I had a large cage, which I planned on having a carpet chameleon in, a satanic leaf-tailed gecko, and a dart frog. So each one of these would hold different places in the environment. But for that to happen, Daisy had to come through quarantine. Well, we had to go through the general parasites, the nematodes, and coccidia, but she finally beat both of those and was giving clean fecals. Unfortunately, she developed mouth rot, and this was in a way that I hadn't seen before. The infection was going across her cheek, so quarantine had to be extended and extended. Now, it looked like she was beating that infection, and it was a year later that we finally lost her. The necropsy didn't offer any insight as to what she actually died of, but once again, that's what it's like working with a wild-caught chameleon. Unless you are very experienced, I don't recommend working with wild-caught, and this is one of the reasons why. Thank you, Daisy, for sharing with us as much as you did. It was wonderful having you. This is Antilles. Antilles came to me in 2022 and has been the star of many of our cage videos. Now, Antilles is definitely a rambunctious one. He will not stay still, and he does love to come out of his cage, if for no other reason, to intimidate me. He will literally walk to the front of the cage. I put my arm up, he will walk onto my arm and then look me in the eye and gape at me and hiss. So that's the kind of relationship that I have with Antilles. Now, he came to me as a baby from the lines of Jonathan Hill at Parasites, and my goodness, has he been gorgeous. He has given me one clutch of babies that were as beautiful as he is, and I am thinking about mating one of his female offsprings to this gentleman right here. And that should produce some very interesting yellow oranges. Now, these females are 2 years old and virgins, and so whether I will get a successful mating or not, to be determined, but you know, we live a life of adventure. Antilles is doing awesome. He will always eat from your hand, and despite his bad attitude, or maybe because of it, he is loved dearly. What do you think, Antilles? Want to say hello to everybody? Say hello to everybody. Those are your adoring fans. Oh, wow. At the beginning of 2024, I started a daily vlog, and that was quite the adventure. In this vlog, I did a lot of talking about the shamrock chameleons. Specifically, this one was Spearmint, and this is Wintergreen. Spearmint is a male Caluma o'Shaughnessyi, and Wintergreen is a female Caluma o'Shaughnessyi. Through this daily vlog, you were able to see as I quarantined and acclimated these two. You got to see me do parasite checks on them, and they were medicated. I have tried to mate them, but I haven't seen a successful mating. Now, they have been alone without my supervision. Wintergreen here is actually gravid. You can tell from their rotund body. Now, unfortunately, I suspect that this is an infertile clutch, which makes me very sad, but we will know once she actually lays her eggs. Now, as you can see, here's an issue that I've run into. Spearmint is not in the mood to mate. And of course, Wintergreen is saying, I'm already gravid, so I'm not going to wait. And this is part of the project that I'm doing here. To establish the Shamrock Chameleon in captivity, I'll need to put together a care guide. I'll have to talk about acclimation. And this is all part of it. Acclimating chameleons from Madagascar to our seasons, that's a big job. And so these guys are part of figuring that out. And so we continue on. I just saw one of my female Shamrock chameleons and she's got a dirt cap. What that means is that she laid eggs, covering them up, and I don't know where. So I've got to go chameleon egg hunting. We're going to be building an outdoor enclosure for Blue, and there's a whole lot of baby Umbanja panther chameleons, and probably going to need your help deciding who stays around. You're going to be meeting more chameleons because there's more stories to be told. Now, this is the 10th anniversary of the Chameleon Academy outreach, but we are just gaining momentum. Example, there's an entire digital course that you can take about chameleon parasites and how you can hunt for them yourself. I just released a book on taking care of hatchling chameleons, and links to both of those are in the description. And we're getting ready for our annual trip to Madagascar in January of 2026. That's open to Chameleon Academy subscribers. And so if you ever wanted to visit Madagascar, send me an email at bill@chameleonacademy.com. I gotta tell you, it is an amazing adventure. And if you love chameleon stories, then just stick around here because there's many to come. And with that, I'm gonna send you off into the world, learn, understand, and pass it on, and be excellent to each other. This is Bill Strand signing off. See you next time.